You should honestly play Blue Archive. Now, I've made a bunch of videos on BA in this channel. You should play Blue Archive. I wholeheartedly recommend this game. I've made a bunch of videos on this game. I wholeheartedly enjoy it. I like the community. I like the art. I like the game itself. The music is nice. Plus, it's now available on Spotify. So just listen to it there. I think that overall, there's a lot that individuals can find to enjoy, whether it's the characters' designs themselves, whether it's the characters' personalities, their respective stories, even the events and the gameplay. The gameplay itself, in my opinion, isn't bad, but I do feel like the issue is, first off, it takes a lot to get to. There's a lot of loading screens. It's like Nikke levels of loading screens. The only difference is Nikke has a PC launcher, this does not. I think that building characters is very simplistic. The downside though is because of different advantage to using different specific damage types, piercing, explosive, and so on, you will have to pull characters or build characters of that archetype to get through certain pieces of content. The downside, of course, the gacha. BA, in my opinion, does not have a good gacha system. It's very similar to Nikke's gacha system. A lot of characters are added to standard. The downside, of course, Nikke has a mileage system. This does not. Fan service wise, I think it's actually quite good. I do think, you know, we don't get skins necessarily, so we just get entirely new art of a character, and certain characters have better live 2Ds than others, but I wholeheartedly enjoy it. I still like the characters. I have my favorites, Izuna as an example, Rang as another one, Yoshimi is adorable, Shiroko is but Serika's hot, so I approve. I think that because the fandom is so good, it actually makes the game a better experience, and I would wholeheartedly recommend play this game in the event that you want a game with a good community built around it. There isn't much content, but understand the content is mainly the character bond story, so if you're interested in unique gameplay, you're not getting that realistically speaking. Now, I will say there is a meta to BA. There are some really good characters, but for the most part, unless you're trying to push into the hardest content available to you within Grand Assault and so on, you don't really need to pay attention to that meta. Hoshino, as an example, is an extremely good character. Do you need her? No. Is she really good if you get her? Yes. But once again, paying attention to the meta is entirely optional. I also think that younger Hoshino with the shorter hair was better. She's hotter. That's just my opinion though. I legitimately would say I recommend you play this game, not necessarily because, oh, the gameplay is really good and it's unique and you need to experience it once, or the main story is exceptional. I think the chapters and the volumes of this game are middling. The Game Development Club arc isn't too good. I think that the Game Development Club arc is better if you already like Aris and Midori and Moi and you already played their bond stories because you have an attachment to them, but if you're just relying on the main story to give you an attachment, you're not going to find it. I think the same thing occurs with Foreclosure Task Force. I think this game obviously probably gets better on with later on chapters, but it's a problem that I think a lot of gacha games have, where in the first couple story arcs aren't that good because you're not as attached, not as invested, and subsequently they have to introduce you to the whole world, and BA does not introduce you to the world in a good manner. So play the relationship stories. Those are the meat and potatoes of the game. That's what's going to get you attached to the characters. Events, cute. Free characters, always cute. Ibuki, she's free, she's adorable. Get her whenever she rolls around. Michiru, I love her, she's great. Now yes, there are damage archetypes, and yes, you can pay attention to them. And there is environments, but a lot of times you won't really know if a character is good in a certain environment. You can see it down here, but you won't know in what environment you're fighting in. You won't know whether or not you have a weakness in that environment yet. So for the most part, you'll mainly pay attention to the type of damage they deal and what they're weak to. And it's piercing and piercing, so you know what to do. I say that unless you're pushing really hard into content you're either underleveled for, or the assaults, total assault, grand assault, and so on, you aren't going to notice that much of a difference. Obviously, in those types of content, you want to match the element that the boss is weak to, but hey, that's a different story entirely. The game can be hard, but I think the game also suffers from the fact that a lot of the difficulty comes to you not being able to play the units. You have to watch them and hope the AI knows what they're doing, and that's just not a fun experience because the AI isn't smart. I've watched units run directly into flames, get set on fire, die. I've seen them not take cover, get hit, die. I've seen them stand out in the open, there's cover 2 feet away. They're not gonna take it. They're not. Just understand that if you're playing BA, you are here to watch the cute animations, you are here to read, you are here to enjoy the music, you are not here to enjoy the gameplay because the gameplay is not here to make you have fun. It's only going to be a good experience, in my opinion, when you're doing Total Assault and Grand Assault because you can actively do a lot of things and your team synergies matter. But beyond that, no. I recently did a batch of polls for Izuna and she said, so, you know, she do be cute though. I will say, if you're looking into the gacha, honestly speaking, your only options are to pull during limited banners or collabs. Very similar to Nikke. First off, almost every character is added to standard. That's not a good thing in a lot of case scenarios because you have a very low chance of getting who you want because there is no wishlist system in this game. Secondarily, you need to do 200 pulls to get to the character you want. 24,000 gems to get the character you want, meaning that's a guarantee because you have to select them. Yes, you can get them early, but you have a chance of getting a whole bunch of other characters. And dupes of characters don't really matter because anytime you do a pull, you're getting a currency that you can use just to get a dupe of a character anyway. And so for the most part, you really want to just expand out your roster. So I'd say only pull when you absolutely love a character or if they're limited. Other than that, no, it's not worth it in my opinion. Momo Takashur, text messaging system. You're gonna get a lot of things here. Yes, I have not done yuccas. No, I will not do yuccas. These are actually quite comprehensive and nice. You get pictures occasionally. They're cute. I legitimately enjoy Momo talks, and I wish Nikke actually used the messaging system more often as a result. A lot of games don't. Z does not. HSR does. I don't understand the differences at this point. But Momo talk is nice. If you are interested, there is a wiki wherein you can see the different options you have for dialogue in Momo talks in case you want to see what you could have gotten instead. But hey, that's a side thing, and that's only if you really like the Momo talk. It's not something you manually have to do, and these options don't really affect too much within the conversation. It's just some nice quality of life, some nice changes in dialogue, in the event that you choose it though. But yes, in my honest opinion, play BA. I recommend playing BA. I don't think there's ever a bad time to jump into the game, but I will say that if you do, you are playing BA for the story, for the characters, for the art, the design, and the music. You aren't playing for the gameplay. If you want to play a game for gameplay, if you want complex, I'd say Archetypes. If you want, action, I'd say Aether Gazer, PGR, ZZZ, and so on. I'd say even you can go with Nikke if you want more fan servicey designs. This has cute designs, not necessarily as Nikke or Haze Reverb and so on. But the community makes this an exceptional experience, and overall, that's my primary recommendation for BA. Play it because the community is good enough that I warrants and saying that should be how a gacha game community acts under all circumstances in every other game. But no, they don't. BA, in my opinion, manages Nikke. They're pretty similar within how the community at least interacts with each other. Either way, that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like down below, subscribe, and I'll probably be making more BA content throughout this year, probably delving into some characters. But hey, that's a side note thing. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.